Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're super excited to have the opportunity to talk to our future potential workforce. I am here to support the community engagement efforts. Carlos has been partnering with us to create a partnership with your school to open up opportunities as you are pursuing your education and as you conclude your education, move into the workforce or re-enter the workforce. So super excited to have you all on. Currently in the Bakersfield area, we have the maintenance tech 2 position open and the maintenance tech 3. These are in our robotics org, and they require 2 to 5 years experience. I did want to encourage you to apply regardless of what the minimum requirements say. Embedded into the application process is a Ramsey test, and that test is a basic skills test. So as you apply, it will slate you into the most appropriate position, and we will also keep those on file as we open up future positions. I also wanted to share with you our apprenticeship program. We do have an apprenticeship that is open if you're able to relocate or want to participate in the future. And we have training locations in 3 areas in the U.S. And then once you complete the paid training, which is a 12-week, you can complete our Ramsey testing and then be placed into one of our facilities with increased pay as you move into the position, which is pretty exciting. So did anybody have any questions in particular about the program or about these jobs?
Yes, I had a question.
Sure, go for it.
Is there a facility in Bakersfield or?
Yes, there is
There
a
is?
facility in Bakersfield. It is located on Petrol Road, which is in Bakersfield.
Hey, Michelle, this is Manny Fernandez. I wanted to ask you a quick question while you're looking at for that video.
Mm-hmm.
The Elite Line Servicing, what is going to be their role in hiring these maintenance techs?
So what is going on is that Amazon has contracted 4 different vendors. We are hiring through our third party, and then over time, as the program launches and as the org progresses, we're going to be converting a certain percentage of hires to our Amazon Direct associates. So they're actually onboarding through them. They'll be managing pay. They'll be managing, all aspects of employment. So you'll be hired on directly to them and then working in an Amazon facility. Okay, I wanted to show you the inside of a building, if you don't mind. So you can see these shelves here. They're being picked up by these little orange robots. And so these are the types of buildings that are what we call our Amazon Robotics or our AR sortable buildings. And they'll have like multi-floors. You can see like the conveyor systems coming through. These are their pods, and all of these have products, and they move up and down the lanes, and they actually bring the product to the associate. So this is the type of warehouse that we're moving towards. We have quite a few of these buildings. My first building here in California that I worked in was actually an AR sortable, and it's pretty neat to see. So working on like these robots, working on the paths and like the conveyor systems. I don't know if you've ever seen one before. Has anybody been inside of an Amazon building?
No, I don't think so. Not that everyone responded, but I don't think anybody has. But we would be so interested of doing a facility tour if allowed to.
That's actually a really good idea. There is a place to request tours. And I wonder if I can just set that up once the quarantine is lifted, so that we can kind of just take a look and maybe meet the staff, meet the supervising staff out there to answer any of the more technical questions.
Awesome. We would really appreciate that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. So what do you guys think? Does it look interesting to you? Did you know that Amazon has like robots bringing product to people. I think what normally people think about fulfillment centers or warehouses, they think about people running up and down picking product. And in these AR sortables, they're actually stationary, and the product comes to them. And what's also neat is I see that we have been launching a new program, or piloting a new program, where they're also making like these wheelchair-friendly stations, where it will kind of like spin around and the products will, you know, be brought in, and then so it'll make like these accessible stations, which I think is pretty neat. I mean, I honestly, growing up, I worked at, you know, UPS, I worked at FedEx, and I was, you know, a loader, unloader, and yeah, this is totally different than the 9 million years ago when I worked in one of these facilities. Do you guys have another question?
My question is, applications are through the third party, like Elite Line Services, right?
Yeah, so we have created this third-party website, and so what it does is everything goes through the Amazon's application tracking system, but each one of them you'll see right here next to the position. Or am I still sharing my screen? Yeah, you'll see next to the position the company that we've contracted with, that you'll be onboarded through. So it all leads to the same place. But yeah, we are monitoring this on our side. And again, you know, I mentioned at the beginning, you know, some of these are going to have like, you know, a requirement of 2 years, 5 years experience. But as you go through the application, there is that placement test. And I'll be able to see that information on my side. And we're able to log in and really take a look. So what I'm going to be hoping to do is work a little more closely, or if our, you know, if or our regional will be working a little more closely, taking a really good look at these applications, and you know, establish that relationship with the vendors, to, you know, look at, hey, you know, maybe you passed the test and didn't meet the basic qualifications, and kind of, you know, examine if you'll be moving forward through the process, if not, why, if you'll be placed into a different position, because like I said, it'll slate you or it'll slot you into the different levels that you'll be qualified for at the time. Really interested in digging more into that and partnering closer with our vendors to help the process through.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, I have another question. Where are the training locations?
So the locations are Indiana, Pennsylvania, and Texas. And that's where the training will take place, and it's a paid apprenticeship program for 12 weeks. And then it says here that upon graduation, your pay will be increased to $21.30, and then you return to your employer sponsor, where they assign you to a building. And then once you're assigned to that building, I guess it says you complete an on-the-job training for 12 months. And this is all paid, so that's a good thing, and it's another avenue to get in.
Hey, Michelle, this is Manny Fernandez. If I'm up to speed on everything you've said so far, I think there's 3 lanes our students could go in. One being the basic mechanic, that one right there. Mm-hmm. Then there's the apprenticeship, which is separate from this, if I'm understanding it correct, right? And then there's the third one is the control side, where possibly your students would be able to apply for a controls job where they are working more with Allen Bradley PLCs. Is that right? Yeah,
so the Maintenance Tech 3 is the supervisory role, the Maintenance Tech 2 here, and then we also have a base technician. I don't know when.
I have another question from a student. She's asked, what type of shifts do these positions run?
So these are 40-hour-a-week full-time shifts. They will vary depending on the needs of the business. So it could be days, evenings, nights.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
What is the average salary pay for these positions?
So anything that you see online is going to be the minimum, but there is a salary range, so I would encourage you to negotiate, and it is dependent upon the area and your qualifications, of course, as well as up to our third party. I've seen 27 up to 32. I think the highest one that we have right now is around $31, and that's again, we're showing the minimum range. So, definitely discuss that once you receive your offer.
Thank you. Then we have another one. What type of benefits come as an employee at Amazon?
So for these positions, your benefits will be received through the vendor. So each benefit package is different through each vendor. I can get the details for you. Once you're onboarded to Amazon, we do have, our medical, dental, vision, 401k, and stock benefit.
And then also, how soon are you is Amazon planning to recruit for these positions?
If you see them posted, we needed them yesterday. We are looking to fill immediately with qualified candidates for all of our buildings and all of our launches coming.
Okay, awesome. And I believe you probably answered this earlier, but the technical engineering jobs that are expected to open in Bakersfield in the next few years, is that 60?
So let me see, 12 Tech 2s at the moment for the Bakersfield location, and let me see what else, and 5 Tech 3s, and that's just for now.
I think we have enough graduates to fill most of those positions.
Awesome. That's really great news for us.
Yes.
Yeah. And then when I'm looking at our launch list, I mean, we really do have buildings just popping up everywhere, buildings that are going to be retrofitted, buildings where, each one of these buildings is going to have, a team. So, with flexibility comes a lot of opportunity. So you guys are feeling adventurous. Once you graduate, we definitely have, a lot of opportunity and a lot of movement across the board here. I can definitely speak from my own experience in working with Amazon. I've been here 4 years as of last Saturday, and I've been in 4 different positions, and I've seen people move, into all different types of areas. So, say you start here and be robotics, and you want to be a program manager, or you want to move into process improvement. I've seen people move from the floor to HR. I've seen operations folks move into recruitment. I mean, opportunity really is endless. I really encourage you all to apply and see if you can make your way in, because we're huge, we're everywhere. I've seen people move to other countries. I've seen people just go to support building launches, and live in different places for weeks or months at a time. It's a really great experience.
Thank you, Michelle. I have another question. When the students are applying, what do you look for in their resumes?
I don't screen the resumes, but what I do encourage is, if you don't have what you think is the experience, I would use lab time, any type of internship, anything to fill those requirements, to kind of give the employer a better glimpse into your hands-on experience. It doesn't need to be paid experience. It doesn't need to be, for a particular employer. Any of your field time, any of your experiential learning hours, I would definitely encourage you to try to fulfill as much of the requirement as possible with those things. The number one thing they're going to look at is, how you did, how you scored. For those Tech 3s, you'll be invited for a longer test, which will be proctored. I mean, we're just looking first and foremost to those who can pass that skills exam. Yeah, we are hiring also in Arizona. We have 2 other locations there. We're in Utah right now. Under Mike, assisting him with the West region, we have Oregon, Washington, Utah, Idaho, Arizona, Nevada, California, Colorado. But we are also actively hiring in, you know, the central, Midwest, and East. I mean, like I said, if you guys are ever interested in living somewhere, the opportunity is definitely there.
I don't think anybody's interested in moving out of Paradise Bakersfield anytime soon.
Never.
Especially since the summer's coming up too. So,
yeah.
How long would it potentially take to move from a second party hiring position into a permanent position with the company?
You know, that's a good question. Like I said, we just launched, and it is case by case, and it is building by building, and it is dependent upon the business model and how it's progressing. Right now, we really are relying on these vendors to take care of our employees and take care of our facilities. I'm not sure when the deadline is to convert.
Thank you. And I believe you guys do a lot. They do a lot of overtime sometimes for these positions.
Yeah, I think again, it would depend on the building, the amount of support that's there. But yes, overtime is definitely a possibility.
I have another question from Brittany. What do you see as the most challenging aspect of this job?
I would think that the most challenging aspect of the job would just to be, you know, learning the uniqueness of Amazon. It's a really challenging environment, and just as a whole, Amazon is very fast paced. We are constantly changing. We pivot constantly. 1 minute settled, and the next minute we're launching something brand new. So likely the pace and the rapidness that we grow. There's a lot of opportunity, and sometimes it's hard to kind of even pick and choose a direction personally for your career. But I think honestly, it's always a good challenge. There's always something new happening. And with Amazon, our motto is it's always day one. Just being prepared for that day one. Every single day, you know, we are just moving at a very quick pace.
All right. Well, if there aren't any more questions, that pretty much concludes our time here with Michelle. We really appreciate her time and joining in and providing us with this information from Amazon. We're looking forward for the facility here in Bakersfield. We can't wait for the grand opening, and hopefully we can do a tour of the facility as soon as this whole COVID situation settles down.
Yes, thank you so much for, you know, jumping on. If you have any questions that you want me to escalate, I'd be more than happy to circle them back to you. Carlos, if you get a lot of questions, feel free to just, you know, send me an email, and I'll definitely get all the answers out to you.
Awesome. Well, everybody in the chat feature is thanking you, Michelle. We appreciate your time, and I'll be working closely with you for the next coming weeks. Hopefully we can get you some great applicants and to fill those positions. Our program is very new. I'm not sure if you're so familiar with it, but we are growing, and so we're hoping we can be that pipeline for Amazon in the coming years.
Thank you. Bye, guys.